Welcome to Carrying the Torch, an igniting interview series with practitioners from the Global Human Movement Studies Network. Together, we're spreading a new perspective of radical physical education for the 21st century. Let's start today's interview. I'm Rich from Hidden Body. Next to me, Nico from the School of Movement in Hamburg.
Exactly.
Today we're here at the closing event or the closure of the Human Movement Studies. We're in the second year. Could you speak a little bit about what we did today and what your experience was?
Yes. We did free diving, so apnea, and we went into this insane depth. I mean, I didn't, but a lot of people did. And yeah, just explored a bit the whole underwater realm, and yeah, that was quite exciting, I think, for everybody, and also a great team and crew experience.
Yeah, and how does this experience of going underwater or free diving relate to what we do within the Human Movement Studies?
I think it's immediately very confronting with a layer that's within you and with something that we are facing in many different other fields, be it wall, height, rails, floor. We have a certain reality we're confronted with. And I think that the water, for many, because it's so unknown, just brings this also to a next level. And personally, I think the whole layer of what the mind is telling you once you start going down and once first problems arise or certain friction arise, and yeah, to just be able to communicate there and to have this relation is very interesting.
So I'm hearing something about the dialogue between your physical experience and then your mental experience. I'm hearing something about problem solving. So I'm also interested in...
And also acceptance.
And acceptance, yes, definitely we need to accept as well. So also very interested in your journey as a student and a practitioner, and now also, of course, a teacher and caretaker of Azula, who's walking in and out of in and out of the
we get a good shot of her as well.
You get a good shot. So very interested into your story, or maybe your story of overcoming obstacles or meeting these challenges. So what was your biggest obstacle as a student practitioner, and how did it shape the way you're practicing now?
For me, that one thing that is or was always very important is kind of going where I'm not good at, and this is something that drove me in the direction of my fear management, especially when it comes to the whole backwards acrobatic thing. And I have a very vivid memory of the times where I couldn't, do a backflip or do a macaco and do this whole backwards run.
Yeah.
And having this connection to this fear and having this memory of this fear, and now being able to do this, and also having the completely different experience of this not being there anymore, to me was very revealing how emotional states that kind of feel fixed in a situation, like this is how it is, couple of years down the line can just completely turn around. And for me, this big problem or struggle was the whole acrobatic backwards, which was very in the beginning at my movement journey. So it was something hard that I picked immediately from the beginning. But yeah, that was a big struggle, and took me many, actually years to kind of overcome. And even now, it's still not completely open. There are still realms, of course, in this sense where you still find this wall and you have to work with that again.
Yeah. So in that sense, you started with the biggest obstacle you could find.
Maybe, yeah.
And then slowly but surely...
Maybe nowadays I would have approached it a bit differently as well, but it was valuable for sure.
Yeah. And what would you have done differently then?
I would have maybe enlightened the space that I wanted to explore a bit more before diving into it. So instead of focusing on the thing that I want to do, take time to actually understand what the space I want to do it in is. So how does it feel to be backwards? How does it feel to look at the world upside down? How does it feel to jump up and land and fall and all this kind of stages that I kind of skipped in a way at that point. Of course, now it came and it helped greatly with the development of those skills, but it's still something that I would have taken more gradual. And one thing that I recently read or listened to somewhere was what does it matter if you reach the skill 3 months earlier, or if it just takes another 3 months, because it actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if the process is more safe and more it goes maybe also into more depth and understanding, then you will just have more at the end instead of just having this one thing.
So really approaching it more from an experiential point of view, or saying, okay, what are the sensations, what are the feelings, what is the content within the skill, instead of just being attached to unlocking that specific skill with the price that comes with it.
And also the frictions
and the friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does this influence the way you teach your students now at your unique movement school in Hamburg, of course?
I think for me in Hamburg, and I think it's generally the case for movement schools that are just locally present, that the people I invite and that I try to also invite are just completely regular people who have an office job and have never done a handstand or have never done anything. So they are not in this world yet, and they have an interest and a curiosity, and I value that a lot. And I want to take them by the hand and guide them a bit to the process, because I think not many people had a guide within this process, within their upbringing, and them approaching physicality was very tainted by their sports background in school, etc. Very weirdly dogmatic, etc. So now to be able to open up a world where you can fail and where you can try and where you can play is very important, and also making it clear that it always happens from a sense of, even though we go out of our comfort zone, it's still about developing a sense of comfort and stillness and softness within the process. So it's not just doing the hard shit and doing it over and over until we can do it, but it's a process where the body slowly understands, oh, I can actually do this, and it's not a problem anymore. And then suddenly things happen where you would think, oh, fuck, that is so far down the line. But actually, because you had the process that is very gentle, then you arrive there, sometimes surprisingly.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful to also listen to the weight behind your words, because it really sounds as if it's something you've actually been through, not as if it's something you've actually been through, right? So you're talking from direct experience.
Yes.
And with that in mind, what type of, and I think you already touched upon it a little bit, or quite a bit, what type of embodied experiences would you like people to have more of in relation to the environment, in relation to each other, in relation to what it is that we're doing, which is human movement? What is, I like on one hand the idea of asking for the one thing, because it immediately gives the viewer something to connect to, but on the other hand, maybe there are a few things that you would like to mention that you think people should experience.
Maybe the one thing, because this is really dear to my heart, I was in my, let's say, physical upbringing, I was privileged in a way that I was quite sporty, and I had the opportunity to try many different things. I also got a bit lost in all the different things I tried, and I had my own crisis with this, but still it was a path where I had the opportunity to experience my Körper, I wanted to talk German, my body, as something that is very there for me, and that I can use and I can experience things with. And I noticed that for a lot of people, maybe the majority, this is not the case. So the embodied experience I would love to, for more people to experience, is that just the body is able to do so much, and that we can do so much with the body, and that it just needs a space to actually explore that. And I think this is maybe the most valuable thing I wanna give.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. And if this would be your last moment, right? Your last moment of teaching.
Heavy question.
Not sure what we will be doing, but after this. But if there's anything you would like the viewer to leave with, or to know about you, that could be inspiring, or that could ignite them to continue down this path of developing themselves as a practitioner, or developing a practice, what would you advise to yourself maybe 10 years ago, or what would you advise to someone who's just starting out?
I would say practice the thing that's close to the edge of what you can do, where you can still experience control, comfort, and joy in the doing, instead of going for the thing that you actually want to do. Because if you have this, your body will naturally be able to go to the next stage. And this is something I used to do wrong a lot, and still sometimes fall into the trap of doing wrong myself.
Don't we all?
But this is something I emphasize a lot, and I see a lot of benefits in my students that try to do that.
Thank you, Nico, for carrying the torch.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to what we will be doing this coming weekend as well. We started off with a dive into the deep. After this, we'll probably be doing some moves, some interesting moves. Hopefully a lot of meaningful conversations.
That's for sure.
If you want to get more information about Nico, where can they find you?
Best place probably is the Instagram, which is schoolofmovement.hamburg, and the website is the same. So you can always find me there, write me, ask any questions, any problems you have. I'm there, always open.
Thank you, Nico.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to Carrying the Torch. Together we're spreading a new perspective of radical physical education for the 21st century. Take what ignited you and pass it on.